are live, and welcome to what is going to be probably the most fun-packed episode of the Let's Talk Vinyl. I was about to say of the Touring Fan Live. I am all over the damn place here. But tonight I'm so excited. This is episode 11. We are going on the one-year anniversary of Touring Fan Live and one-year anniversary of Let's Talk Vinyl. And I am so excited. To my left or on the screen, I think, or my right, I don't know how the hell this works. On the right of the screen is my good friend Trey Bush, who is the more knowledgeable one about wine and Pearl Jam, and he has a better looking demeanor than I do. So, welcome, Trey. How are you doing, buddy?
I feel great. I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this show for a few days now. So,
Well,
as I was building, I told you today I drove to Spokane, which is a 2 hour and 45-minute drive from Walla Walla. And so it gave me lots of opportunity to listen to a bunch of cover songs from Pearl Jam today. And so it was awesome.
Well, it's interesting because we this was a we I was drunk last episode beyond that one really tore me up, but I was like, let's just do a cover episode, not thinking the huge dynamic behind it and what cover music means, and thinking these last couple weeks, I was like, cover music, especially during the pandemic, really helped a band out, and that was Black Circle. They were covered a lot of Pearl Jam music, which brought their popularity forward, and because of that, that also brought they became bigger because of that, but really their musical ability and talent is what carried them through. And not only were they just originally known as a Pearl Jam cover band, now people know them as Black Circle, the band that's putting out a lot of great music. So tonight, Black Circle will be joining us at 9:16 after we do our wine talk. Maybe we'll rope Lenny into doing a cover song for us. And then who knows? I've given our link out to a couple other guests about potentially coming on tonight, talk later on. But I think this is going to be a marathon of a show. We have a lot of videos to watch, a lot to talk about. But before we get into Black Circle and cover songs and stuff, we need to talk about this, because this bottle of wine's been open for an hour and I'm ready to try it. And tell
Wow.
us about the Sorceress.
This is a sorceress. This is the Grenache that we make. And so the idea about this episode was to talk about Grenache as a grape. And I don't think we have, in our you past 11 episodes, I don't think we visited this wine at all. This is the first time you've had our Grenache, and it's possible this might be the first time you've ever had the grape. But it is a grape that is made famous in the southern Rhone Valley of France, where Grenache is one of the main grape varietals grown in an area called Châteauneuf-du-Pape. And if you ever go to a nice wine store, they usually have an area for Southern Rhones, and you should have no problem finding really good. They call them CDPs, Châteauneuf-du-Pape. You don't say Châteauneuf-du-Pape, you say CDP. And those are typically Grenache dominant wines. Not always, but for the most part, it's one of the most heavily planted grapes in the Southern Rhone. We've been making Grenache in Washington. We being sleight of hand, our first vintage was 2011. We started making Grenache. It's a relatively new grape to the state. They've had Grenaches from the 2000s planted here, but most of the Grenache plantings are all relatively young vine plantings. And so it's really yet to be determined what we can do with this grape. But at Sleight of Hand, we try to honor these old world traditions. We don't use any new oak on this wine. We use all old barrels. We do a lot of foot crushing, which means like we literally foot crush these grapes, and so the stems are part of the fermentation, and that adds a really cool complexity to the final wine. There's like a spice component. There's like um, a tannin profile that comes from the stems as well, um, and really, really perfumey
Oh, yeah.
grape. They typically are very floral. They typically are red fruited, so you're gonna get like lots of cherry, raspberry, strawberry, those kind of notes. Um, Pomegranates. Think like Christmas spices. So that's typically Grenache, no matter if it's from the Rhone Valley or whether it's from Washington or even some examples in California. Although a lot of the California Grenaches that I've had are made in a bigger, riper style, more oak. and kind of mask some of those delicate flavors. We treat it more like Pinot Noir than we do any other grape varietal. So we treat it as a very delicate grape. If you look at the color of that, Anthony, it's going to be like a little more, it's not the darkest red wine that you've opened from us, right? It's
No, I can clearly, like,
through
with the
that
light coming through it, I
realm.
clearly can see through this one more than I would
Yeah,
typically some of the other ones you would send. And what
yeah.
you and
So
you made a great point, because as soon as I opened this bottle of wine, within minutes, this whole room smelled like it.
oh, good. That's great. So you've got the 18 vintage. I opened up an older bottle. So you have our new label, and then this is our old label right here. And so this is from 2012, and it's tasting awesome. This wine's 9 years old now. I think it's just hitting its sweet spot, and yeah, it's pretty tasty.
So you just opened that bottle tonight. So that's been sitting since for, well, you said 9 years. Are you going to drink that whole bottle? Because we cannot
No,
put that.
no, I'm gonna drink half this. I gotta save the rest for Holly. She's at dance practice tonight, so I gotta save the rest of that for her for sure. I think she's watching in the car, so I love her.
She is a big fan of the show. So what now with this
She
wine tip?
is.
And I like to ask this question because it's something that I like to typically. What kind of foods would you typically associate eating with this wine?
Oh gosh. I mean, it's gonna be, like mostly they're gonna be meat dishes, right? I mean, even though this is delicate looking, it's still a powerful wine. It's they typically are higher in alcohol. It's just a product of the way this grape ripens. Um, that they're going to be typically over 14% alcohol. And tannin profiles can range from sort of medium tannin to big tannin. And those usually require roasted meats. And so I typically think of like, uh, you have like the herbes de Provence. You've heard of that, like for like, French food and stuff, right?
Yes.
That's those are the perfect spices for like, a beef dish or like beef bourguignon or lamb dish or something like that. So
Okay. So
yeah,
I do like this. This is a really good wine. This is much different than any of the one you've sent me. In
yes.
retrospect, that you've sent me a lot of red wines, but this is one that's distinctively different. Where the palate on my tongue is completely different than it normally does. It's not as much of a. It doesn't have that like copper taste like you were talking about. Not copper, but like that taste that you get on the inside of your cheeks, which is really interesting.
Yep.
No, this is really good. I'm curious
You
how
already
I'll
fin- you,
feel
you, you
after a whole
already finished
bottle.
that glass, so well done.
That yeah, well, I've been staring at this for a while because you know how I have my fancy decanter that you that we got and my fancy glass, which I've got the swirl down for. Um,
Nice. Yeah.
but no, it's interesting. You know, when you said the sorceress too, it made me think of like that artwork that was on Backspacer.
Sure. Yeah.
You like, and I look at that image, I'm like, that woman could have been on that cover. Like, she could have easily been on the cover of Backspacer for sure.
One of the when I uh, when I was in Tim Bierman's office, the artist Tom Tomorrow, who did that album cover, did a picture of Tim, and Tim got it on his wall in his office, and it's awesome. It's that same cartoony, it's like Stone and Ed and all these other guys, and there's a picture of Tim, which I
Hmm.
thought that's pretty cool. You Tom Tomorrow actually make a cartoon out of you.
I need a cartoon made of me. I mean, the sad thing is, like, I was thinking tonight we're
You're
gonna
a
have
real life
black.
cartoon. You're a real life cartoon.
I am a
All right.
freaking real life cartoon. You like the shirt tonight?
I do.
I'm making a political statement. But I was thinking tonight, I'm like, we're gonna have Lenny and we're gonna have Sergio. We're gonna have all these guys from Black Circle that are all in shape, looking good. You're in shape, looking good, and there's this fat slob over here in a white. I mean, Lenny's wearing a white T-shirt, and he's all in shape and got the voice. And here's Slobby Anthony, with the no bozo shirt on. But anyway, before we get to Black Circle, I figured we should start by playing one of the covers. We have four videos tonight we're gonna watch. For most videos we ever played on the show of Pearl Jam covers. But I figured let's do that, right? Let's get one of them out of the way, shall we?
I
And we're
can't
gonna
wait to
and
see.
what we're
Up
gonna
for it.
do too is we have a new view. It's called "What is Anthony and Trey doing while they're listening to this song?" So, um, are you ready for the? Are you? Oh, do you like the new graphic in the background? I don't know if you would.
Like, I do like it. I do like it.
All right, so this is the first cover song. After this cover song, we'll get Black Circle on. But let's rock and roll with the first cover of the night. Well, you know what? I kind of dig the side views. You know, no one ever knows what we're doing during a song. I kind of digged it. Maybe you didn't, Trey. I don't know, but that was kind of
I
fun.
had no idea. I had no idea they ever covered that. Where they play that at?
That was at Wrigley. That was
Wrigley
20.
18.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so I missed that. That was the only. I didn't go to the Chicago shows. We went to Seattle, Missoula, and Boston, but I missed Chicago.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
I've never seen him play that.
Listen, as a huge Bowie fan, and I've already told my Bowie story so many times. When I didn't even know they played that. Going through this whole cover situation and digging in deep, and I found out about that. I said that needs to be on the show. So, and first of all, I thought they did an excellent job with it. Right? You know, Bowie is someone hard to cover, and I think Pearl Jam knocked it out of the park.
That's pretty good.
Oh, come on.
It was okay. Well, I don't know. It was fine.
Shannon says she likes the side view, so keep it in. All right. Well, now we have some of the guests here. I know that we'll have one joining us shortly, but tonight we are talking about cover songs. We're talking about cover music with Pearl Jam and how Pearl Jam covers music. Well, we all know that there's a lot of bands out there that cover Pearl Jam music, and there has been one over the last God, 2 years that has been dominant in our news feed and our social media that has knocked these covers out of the park. And that band is Black Circle, and we are going to welcome them now. Welcome, Black Circle, to Let's Talk Vinyl. How's it? Wait, don't say anything yet. Now say something. Unmuted you. How you guys doing?
What's up, Anthony?
How you doing, everybody?
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely an honor to have you guys.
That's great.
You know, the reason I reached out to you all about being on here with me and Trey is talking about cover music in general. You know, when I first was introduced to you all, we have, I think, our fourth. Hold on. Let's bring him on too. Let's get the whole gang in here. Boom. We have a full party now.
Yo, Nicky.
Let's see.
So,
how you guys doing?
We're doing great. So like I was just saying too, the reason I found out about Black Circle and how it came to me was it was when you guys covered Dance to Clairvoyance so early on in the life of that song. And it's interesting how now, where we haven't really heard that song live, and you guys were the first people to really play that in a live setting, I kind of sometimes, when I hear that song, I think back to hearing it from you. But you guys have dynamically changed from being a Pearl Jam cover band to being a band that's putting out extremely quality music that has been a staple to the community of music for a long time. So thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, it's a pleasure, man. And thanks for the kind words.
Well, you know.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, no, definitely. So let's get right into this. You guys are big Pearl Jam fans. What made you all decide to cover Pearl Jam?
Want to take that one?
Yeah, maybe I'll take that. Well, we are huge fans, and we started another Pearl Jam cover band some years before Black Circle. We didn't even knew Lenny. We had another singer, and me, Nick, and Gabriel, which is the bassist. We had that band, and we played for some years, and suddenly the band broke up. Yeah, so we started trying to find another singer. Then we found Lenny on the internet. So we didn't even know if he lived here in our city. We're from Rio de Janeiro. So luckily he was living here. He's from here. So it's been quite some time that we are playing Pearl Jam live. But I think after 1 year playing with Black Circle, we spontaneously started writing our own songs. So that's how we started playing Pearl Jam, and then we started slowly moving to an original work.
Hey, Anthony,
Yeah.
I want to ask you a quick question. Can you guys all introduce yourself and just give us your name and what instrument you play for Black Circle? Because it's going to be new to me.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me because I'm so drunk though. Okay, I'm Nick Miami. Played the drums for Black Circle.
I'm Luis, and I play the guitar.
I'm Lenny. I sing.
And I'm Sergio, and I play the guitar too.
And there's also Gabriel. He's the bassist, but he's not here tonight.
Awesome.
Well, we're glad to have you four here, so that we appreciate that.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah,
So-
fine man.
So, you know, first of all, I think it's hilarious that you guys just found someone online and said, hey, we're going to cover Pearl Jam. Hey, there's this guy literally around the corner from us that really can knock this shit out of the park. And it just, the odds of that happening is lightning in a bottle. It really only strikes once. It's a really odd, you know, it's weird. It's unlucky. So, I mean, you know, congrats to you. But I will tell you something. The one thing I've really enjoyed about, you know, watching your cover songs is, you know, sometimes, you know, you do make them your own. Like, there's definitely some formality of how Lenny can, you know, change it up, or even Sergio, how you play guitar. You can hear that even though it's a Pearl Jam song, you are making your own, which I appreciate, because I don't believe, you know, cover songs should be just 100% note for note, exactly like it's supposed to be, because then it's just like a carbon copy. But what the cool thing I found about you guys that I didn't know about is when, later on when you guys were a part in April of the benefit for Parkinson's, and you guys did your own original music, and I was like, God, and I heard it. You guys sent it, which super grateful for you all being a part of Rockin' for a Cure. With you guys being there, we raised a ton of money, over $10,000 in that short month. So I appreciate you guys coming on. That means a lot.
Very
But-
happy we could help, man.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
it's means a lot. But your original music is absolutely stellar. So, and I know that recently you've done a lot of these live streams of a lot of the Pearl Jam covers. Is there going to be a time when you transition from being more of a Pearl Jam cover band, like 50-50 Pearl Jam, 50-50 original, where you focus heavily on being an original band?
Well, I think that's gonna happen at some point. We try not to plan too much, right? But it's tough to say when that's going to happen. I mean, we've been recording our own music. That's what we're doing here today, actually. But we can't tell you exactly when that's going to happen. But of course, it's something that we want to do, right? Our songs have been recognized. People like our work, which is amazing for us. That's why we keep, recording more and more. And hopefully, eventually, it's going to turn 50-50. And then maybe one day we'll be doing Pearl Jam covers, like 2 or 3 songs every show. So, but we can't tell when that's going to happen. I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
So playing Pearl Jam covers, and tonight being about Pearl Jam covers, I want to know from each one of you, what is your favorite Pearl Jam cover song to play? And we'll go from Sergio, we'll go to Lenny, and we'll work away all the way across, right over to Nick.
Okay.
Okay, that answer changes from time to time because since I've heard Pearl Jam for so long time, I always have some phases across the albums and across the different phases of the band, different eras. So I would say that my choice, my pick would be Nothing Man.
Okay. All right, Lenny.
Tremor Christ.
Okay. All right. Moving along.
It also changes from time to time. I really like Brain of J,
Okay.
but there's that other song. What's that called? We only did it once, I guess, once or twice. Nothing as It Seems.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a
I
good
love
one.
that one. It's quite hard,
Yeah.
actually.
All right, Nick.
I mean, of course, I could have played the. I could have said that it changes, all the time. It does change, but right now, it's Tremor Christ.
Okay.
You can see we can see we're both into Vitalogy
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
I can see that from this past weekend, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I really have a crush on Rat and Rearview Mirror and Jeremy. Those for me are the best ones.
So River Mirror and Jeremy. Okay. It's interesting that you said that because I think Trey would agree with this. Like the conversation always comes up is like, what is your favorite Pearl Jam album, right? And I think every time that question's asked of me, and it's like, oh, rank your favorite Pearl Jam songs or albums, I don't think I've ever given the same list twice. Like, every day it changes, like where those albums are because it fits the mood,
Yeah, 100%.
Does the top one change?
I mean the top. I mean, Anthony, top song or top album, is it
Top
always
album, I
exactly
mean.
the same? For
No.
me, it's not. I've said it's Vitalogy. I've said it's Tin. I've said it's Binaural. I mean, I've gone back and forth. It just depends on, like Anthony said. I think it depends on like what mood you're in. The joy of having 10 studio albums and all the stuff that they've done is it's really easy to go like 2 years without listening to an entire album.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the truth. I couldn't tell you the last time I played Riot Act front to back. I'm going to do that tomorrow for sure. But because of that, you go back and you're like, Riot Act's not my favorite album. But then you go back and listen to it and you dive back into it and you're like, God, what a great album. And there's plenty of people that say it's their least favorite album. But I find so many gems in everything they've done, including a lot of their later stuff. And certainly this last album, I don't know about you guys. I cannot wait to see this tour live when they
Yeah, me too. Me
play
too.
the album. It's gonna
So-
be amazing.
There's
Are
a lot
you-
of different stuff in that album, right? So we don't. I mean, we know it's gonna be great live. I'm very curious about Clairvoyance, to be honest. Very curious to
Yeah.
see how it's gonna sound live.
Well, it's interesting because the only time we saw Dance to the Clairvoyants live, they had Josh Klinghoffer playing with them on that live stream, and then with rumors speculating that he's going to be a touring guitarist now for them, whether that's true or not, I have no idea. It's what?
What?
What have you lived under a rock? This is yes. There's a very large rumor going around that Josh Klinghoffer is going to be a touring guitarist for Pearl Jam. Whether that's true or not, I do not know. That is just a rumor. Do they need him? No, not at all. But they didn't need Boom at one time too, and then adding that piece added the magic to the band. So sometimes you just don't know what it's going to bring. But it's interesting. We've had Gigaton now for over a year. The first time they're going to play live is in a month and a half in New Jersey. And it's going to be interesting that if you are a fan of Pearl Jam, like every single one of these people that are watching and every single person that's on the screen right now, you pretty much know word for word, verbatim, what these songs are. As a matter of fact, I can guarantee you that Lenny knows every word to every song on Gigaton. But typically when the band tours, you have the ability of not knowing those songs, so you don't sing along with them because it's new and it's fresh. This is the first time Pearl Jam's ever playing where you're going to see them and the new songs the first time they're being played. So it's an interesting dynamic of how that's going to turn a little bit to like what your expectations are for those songs. Let me ask you this, guys. With you guys covering Gigaton, what songs do you think the band potentially could have trouble with playing because they're so difficult to play?
Oh, some of them, right?
Yeah, I think
The ones that have the most keyboard parts, I think.
Yeah, I think Clairvoyance is definitely a pick for this because it has a certain mood. Since we've played Clairvoyance sometimes. Sometimes we just play it so fast, and maybe Pearl Jam has the same problem with some songs. So we'll need to see if they're gonna nail the right mood for the song. I'm sure they'll do, but I'm curious about it.
Sure.
Yeah, I believe they're gonna have some trouble at a given time on Take the Long. Maybe because of the odd drum patterns that Matt brought to the song. I believe this song it's amazing because of that, and maybe not feel a little bit didn't say not, but maybe they would forget that happens.
Nick, you have to remember.
Even when you're playing.
Nick, you have to remember, that's Matt fucking Cameron.
Yeah, no, the problem is not Matt Cameron.
He's not gonna miss anything.
Yeah, because I mean, it is interesting how Take the Long Road does because the drum is playing in a different pattern than how the band is playing, and in retrospect, they're almost playing against each other. And it's different because typically the drummer is setting the tone of how a band plays. And once again, it was a very long time ago when I was in a band, and that band was shitty. And as you can see, I am not in a band anymore. I am hosting a show, and I'm doing it half-assly. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that song definitely plays in a pattern on drums that is different than how the guitar and even singing is done. So it's almost like while Matt Cameron's going with the river, like the band's going against it, and it's almost like two different dynamics for the one song.
But Jeff and Jeff and Matt are always lockstep, man. Like they never skip a beat. Who skips the beat? Who's the one who fucks up all the songs? Eddie.
Wow. Yeah.
Eddie.
That's why.
He's the one who always screws it up in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's like with his own guitar or whether it's with his lyrics. Like he forgets to jump in. It's really never the band's fault. It's always Ed. That's because he's like 3 glasses into this. So
yeah, that's why my patient about this song, but it's not a preoccupation. I love to see them play the song. For me, it's one of the best songs on this album, and no one talks too much.
So now that you guys have been, I would say that first of all, you have almost a cult-like following. You guys have a fan base that follows you guys everywhere. You have this in North America and Brazil, where you guys are from. You guys are just killing the ability of having this following, because I think the true generosity and nature of you guys, of how much you've given back and how open and honest you are with fans, I think that's been something that people tend to like, because it just shows how real you are. And I appreciate that as someone who stands back and watches musicians. With everything kind of starting to get back to normal, I say that, and then today, this variant of COVID is starting to hit, but with things getting back to normal, is there going to be a time that you guys plan to take the long trip to the States to potentially play up here? Or is that going to be, are we talking way down the road?
No, it's in the plans. Definitely. We want to go to the States. Well, our first plan was to go at the beginning of next year. But then with the whole COVID problem, and we had to change our plans. And actually, we started focusing on the second record. So, but yes, I don't think it's going to take that long for us to actually go to the States. But it's not going to be like in a short term thing. It's going to take a little while, but maybe not. So I don't know. The end of next year, probably.
We have a venue for you in Seattle already.
Oh, all right.
That's what I like to hear.
All right.
You
Those
are
are the magic words, my friend.
You are talking to someone who has the venue, so you have a direct connection.
I got the place for you guys to play. So
All right.
matter of
All
fact,
right.
so the opening credits of our show is a song by a band from Seattle called Stereo Embers.
Okay.
And
I know this band.
yeah, so they're playing Saturday at my place in Seattle.
Oh,
And so when
awesome.
you guys are ready to make the trip up, we'll do an acoustic Black Circle set, because it's a small space, 120 people.
Okay.
That would be
like
awesome.
120 really energetic music lovers that really love music. It's the only reason they're there. And so you've got a place to play in Seattle for sure.
All right.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
awesome, Trey.
And you got a band to pay at your place, man. We're gonna play there. We're gonna be there.
All right.
And I have a backyard in Central Virginia that has power, a light, and a creek. You're more than welcome. No, it's just,
And a great sound guy, from what I understand.
I do listen. There's one thing I can do. I can do sound, lighting, and video pretty well. But yeah, no. I think you guys will not have a hard time finding places to play in the States. But listen, I know that.
Is it that place you talked the other day with Jason's podcast?
Oh yes. Oh, you actually listened to that.
That's awesome.
I butchered that. I've realized, and I felt bad too, because we did this for anyone who's paying attention. So there is a live on Four Legs podcast, right? Am I saying that right?
No, State 11 Trust.
That's right. Oh, no, State 11 Trust. I was on that one with for the venue. Yes, correct. For when we did everything for Let's Talk Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Correct. My mind's all over the place. I'm third glass of wine in, so as the night gets, you guys are earlier into the show, so I'm a little sober. But right now, give it a little bit. This shit's done. Yes. So we do have a venue locally to here that I have someone that I know of that holds. I was there the other night. That holds about 3,000. So that holds a pretty good amount of fair people. So actually, I went to my Live on Four Legs podcast, is the one I was talking about. I just did with Randy's podcast. Randy just had a baby, so I filled in for him, and I'm just, I can do this kind of talking. I can't, there's so many people that do things better than me, and those people clearly know stats and statistics better than I do. And I felt bad because I could not hold a glass of wine or a win to what Randy does on that show, so I felt bad for that. But yes, for what you guys are talking about for State 11 Trust podcast, we talked about that back in April when you guys came on and helped me with the Parkinson's event. But yeah, I have about 4 venues in Virginia that I know of real well, and I know one in North Carolina. So yeah, I mean, you guys hit the States. We can definitely send you connections to get out there. You just gotta get your asses over here.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
We're gonna work on it.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna.
That would be a pleasure.
Need that help.
There you go. Well, I don't think you're going to need much of our help. I mean, well, definitely Trey. Trey is much more of an important person than I will ever be. You
How
know,
am
so
I more important?
you are definitely an important person. Like, if there was a ranking of important people, like 1 to 10, I'd give you like a number 8, right under the president. I'm like number 1. I'm like the guy that's sweeping the street outside. Like, I'm not important. You just wave at me as you drive by.
I got a question. I have a question for the band. So you have one album of original music already recorded, right?
Yeah,
Did you put it out on vinyl?
we did.
You did. Is it available in the United States?
Yeah,
Yes,
it is.
Okay, those are good. When do you think you're going to be finished? When are you going to wrap up your second album? And how soon do you think it'll be available?
I mean, we're recording vocals right now, which means we've recorded all the guitars and bass and drums. Then we're gonna add a few other stuff, and then post production. I'd say that we would have the whole process finished within a month, probably, Sergio.
Yeah, to go to the plant.
Yeah, but we're not gonna release it on vinyl this time.
Why not?
Exactly because of the plants, because they're they have a lot of work. They got a lot of work to do, and if we went with vinyl this time, we would have to wait longer to release the album.
It does take so long. Right now, the backup is like 6 to 8 months here in
Yeah.
the States.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
have the product, you hand it over, and you're 6 to 8 months from seeing that album out. So
Yeah, so
Sure.
so we're gonna try to open a pre-sale by November. So the albums will be delivered by December, and by the end of January, it will be available on all the streaming platforms.
well,
Yeah, we're gonna do
look,
CD
there is
this
there is
time.
a demand. I'll tell you. I mean, you guys already know this. There is a demand, even if people have to wait 6 months, 8 months. There is a demand for vinyl. So I'm just
Oh,
putting
yeah.
that out there because I'm going to be looking for your first album.
Thank
I'll
you.
go
That's
Google
easy to
Docs.
find.
Well,
Very
look, and
easy.
guess what? Krista just put the link up for that on
Exactly.
the chat. So you can
Oh.
click that, go to there.
She's awesome.
So click the link, buy their stuff. Listen, they
Do I
need
get
money.
mine signed? I want to sign. If I buy it on that website, will you sign our album and mail it to me?
I can send you a signed copy because we just sent, I think, about 5 copies signed to the United States just today. So a guy is flying to the States tomorrow, carrying 5 copies of the album signed by us.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Wow, they got like
So
a
you
whole
got everything you wanted. You
they
can
got
have
a
a
whole-
record and a signed copy of it. So
they got like a whole struggling. They got like the whole like what was it like they're like not struggling. They're smuggling in stuff goods from over the border. Like instead of drugs, it's vinyl. You just on the planes.
Vinyl mules.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, I know that you guys are in the studio and recording, and I don't want to hold you too much. I promised Krista we're going to go over 20 minutes. We have gone over 20 minutes, and I apologize about that. But
that's okay, man.
Lenny, I know that you, Trey, talked you guys into playing a song tonight. Do you mind playing that? And then after you guys are done playing, we'll chat for just a few more minutes, and I'll let you get back to the recording magic.
Okay.
All right.
No problem, man.
All right, well, I'm going to remove my Nick, and Trey's face, and it's going to be all you guys.
Okay.
Now waiting drove me mad. You're finally here and I'm a mess. Take your entrance back. I can't let you roll inside my head. I don't wanna take what you can give. I'd rather starve than eat your bread. I would rather run but I can't walk. Guess I'll lie alone just like before. I'll take the finest path. Oh, and I must refuse your test. Push me and I will resist. This behavior is not unique. I don't wanna hear from those we know. Thinking Baba can't put on my clothes. I don't wanna live for them to walk. Never would have known of me before. I don't wanna be held in your debt. I bet I think the land I'll be wet. I'm already caught up in half-dead. I'll end up alone like I began. Everything has changed. Absolutely nothing's changed. Take my hand, not my picture, still my danger. I don't wanna take what you can give. Out of the sun and need your breath. All the things that others want from me. Give me what I want because it's free. Give me what I want because it's free. I can't be what you want because I am supposed to be just fun. All the leaving, die, let it be done. Think that I'll be down all alone like I began. Oh. Thank you, boys.
Jeez.
Nick, I could hear you. I could hear you air drumming in the background, Nick.
Yeah. That's the far I can go right now.
Well, listen,
was
this
great.
has been an honor. I don't, Trey, did you even know they were coming on the show until tonight?
You know, I literally logged on, and it's in my little screen, the top right. It says Black Circle. I'm like, what? So yeah, no, you didn't tell me anything.
No, I like that. I like to surprise you. This is my surprise for you. I hope that I continue
appreciate it. It
to
was a great
surprise you. As I do. Listen, Lenny, Luis, Sergio, Nick, I can't thank you all so much for coming on and taking time out from your lives, especially being 10:44 your time right now. There is a lot of claps coming across from a bunch of people right now that are enjoying this. Well, probably you, not me. So definitely appreciate that. So if you are hearing about Black Circle for the first time, you've lived under a rock. Definitely check them out. You can check out Black Circle PJ on Facebook. You can check them out on Instagram. They are doing live streams every so often. Definitely go there. There's also donation links that can help support the band as they continue to give back to the community, as they consistently do. When we reached out to them, the Touring Fan Live back in March about joining Rockin' for a Cure, they jumped on it real quick. And they are gracious enough. So definitely continue to support these guys. They're great guys. So love Black Circle. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Good luck with the second album. And I will promise you this. If you go to Seattle to do a show at Trey's place, I will fly out and we will live stream it in a manner that's never been done before.
Dude,
That's
that's
right.
awesome.
Let's
Let's
fucking do it.
let's do it, man.
I am
Hey,
talking.
Anthony, can I
be great.
say the date of our next live stream?
Go ahead.
It's gonna happen on August 14th, and it's gonna be a 30th anniversary live stream. So we're gonna celebrate the 30th anniversary of 10, playing the whole album again. It's not the first time we do this, but it's definitely the most important one because of the great anniversary.
What time is that going to go on?
It's gonna be a 6 Eastern. It's on a Saturday, 6 Eastern. Yeah. Usually the time that we do it. So it's gonna be on the 14th. That's 17 days from now.
On our
It's pretty
YouTube
close.
channel.
On our YouTube channel, yes, pretty close.
And what we'll do is we will share information on the page. We'll get everything up and running, and then we'll also share the links on the Touring Fan Live's Facebook, social media, Instagram. I'll get our marketing team to get behind that, and so that if anybody doesn't remember, Chris is really good about messaging me too. We'll make sure we get that out in the world for you. So definitely tune into that. If you want to hear a young version of Eddie Vedder, definitely tune in because Lenny's got that voice. And also,
thanks for calling me young, man. That was thank you.
Well, listen,
You made my day. You just made my day.
Hold on a second, because this is gonna make Lenny. If you don't, how old are you?
I'm 40.
Fucking A, what the hell is this? That everyone that's older than me on this goddamn show looks in so much better shape. I'm done. I'm going on the water and chicken. I'm getting the water and chicken diet starting tomorrow. I'm gonna be. That's it. Next time you see me, the shirt's gonna be a blanket. It's all over. Well, listen, guys, thank you all so much for coming on, and we'll be definitely chatting with you guys again soon.
Thank you.
Sure, man. Always a pleasure.
Much for having
Nice
us.
to meet you, Trey.
Thank you. I have a question for Trey before I go. Can I?
Oh,
Anthony,
All
listen, Anthony will put us in touch via email too. Okay.
Okay.
For sure.
Great.
yes. Go ahead with the question for Trey.
Oh, okay. All right. So I got this friend, and he's a huge fan of your wine. He's here. He's from Brazil. Huge fan of your wine. And if I didn't ask you this, he would probably kill me tomorrow. So he's asking me. He's telling me that he wishes that you could ship your wine to Brazil, as if you did, he would definitely buy it.
It's really, shipping alcohol is very difficult.
It's complicated, right?
Just in the United States, state to state, every state has a different law. Shipping out of the country is very, very difficult, and not only difficult, it's very expensive, because this trying to go all the way down to Brazil at 55 degrees is virtually impossible. And so by the time it got down there, who knows what could happen to that wine? I mean, it's living inside the bottle, right? I mean, wine is a life form, and so you want it to arrive in the best shape possible. And unfortunately, it's just
So I think he knew that. I think he probably knew that, but maybe he just wanted me to tell you that he's a fan. So probably
that means a lot.
That was the
to
whole
me.
point of the question.
It means a lot to me that I even have a fan down there, and maybe one day I'll get down to Brazil. We can do a wine dinner together.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I think we're gonna have to bring some bottles down to Brazil.
And then we'll tell you what happens after it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You can do that. You can travel on an airplane.
We could do that.
If you're flying back there, I'll make sure you take the wine back to your friend.
12 bottles for each person.
That would be great. That would be
Yeah.
$60.
12 bottles.
That's awesome.
Oh,
You're
my
gonna
God.
be arrested here in Rio.
No, I don't want to cut you guys off, but I know you probably have questions for me, so you can go ahead and ask those questions now. Oh, okay. We'll talk offline. Hey, send me your information later on what size T-shirts you want. We'll send you some Touring Fan Live T-shirts.
That's great.
That's
We'll
great.
get you some stuff. So, all right. Well, I don't want. I know that you guys have way too many questions to ask me. I don't want to hold the whole show up just to make it about me. So we're gonna cut off those questions, and we'll save them for another day. But guys, good luck on the second album, and we'll be chatting soon with you all.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys are great.
Have a good one.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Definitely.
Great to have you.
All right. Well,
Legal.
let's. There we go. All right. Can you hear me?
I can still hear them too.
All right. They're dropping off now. They're all dropped off. All right. Well.
That was cool, man. It literally felt like a surprise just for me, even though I know that our 18 viewers out there appreciated it as well. But
Hey, listen, I don't know if you realize this. Our last 3 episodes on YouTube have almost 1,000 views. Our show is I think it was last time I checked, I believe it's 110,000 views away, 110,000 listens away from 1 million.
maybe next month we'll hit 1 million for our
I would hope so. It's they come for you. They come for you. It has nothing to do with me. It's all about you.
The show doesn't exist without you, Anthony. So let's.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. But yeah, it's interesting. So our show's going to go, the Touring Fan Live, we go on its 1 year anniversary on Thursday. I'm making a big announcement on Thursday. So I'm looking forward to that. But
Yep.
you know what? We have a lot of live covers to listen to. Let's listen to another one. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Ready?
All right.
If the rain comes, they run and hide their head. They might as well be dead when the rain comes. When the rain comes, when the sun shines, they ride into the shade and slip their lemonade. When the sun shines, when the sun shines, I don't mind. The weather's fine. I can show you that when it rains and shines, it's just a state of mind. When the sun shines, when the sun shines, can you hear me? That when it rains and shines, it always only me. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't mind. Shine. Yeah, it's fine.
The Beatles are a band that's been covered by so many artists for such a long time, and I feel as though the Beatles are a hard band to cover, in my opinion. Just the fact that the band had a dynamic to it.
Are they hard because you're not gonna be able to do it better than them?
I think it's a
the early stuff, they're pretty simple songs, right?
they are real
Like,
simple
that's not
songs.
a difficult song.
Well, yeah, it's almost like the Ramones in its own sense. The Ramones are a simple band, but you're not gonna. And people can play the Ramones good, but you're not gonna be the Ramones. Like the Beatles are a great band, but you're never gonna be the Beatles. You're going to always be, it's so difficult to do.
I listened. This is a funny story. I was listening to Mark Maron today podcast, and he's got really one of my favorite podcasts out there. And he was interviewing Rick Rubin, the producer, right? And he was talking about an interview that Mark Maron had also interviewed Paul McCartney. And the discussion with Rick Rubin had to do with, and this actually plays into Pearl Jam, is a lot of artists, as they get older, you often hear the artist will say, I've been playing music for 30 years. This is my best work. This is my best album, right? And, in relation to Pearl Jam, obviously that's debatable between all the fans. But going back to his interview with Paul McCartney, he had the absolute gumption to ask Paul McCartney. He's like, Paul, he's like, you've released a bunch of new albums in the past 10 years. you know, and I hear a lot of older artists say that they're doing their best work today versus what they did back then. Do you think that you're the same? Like, are you making your best music now? And Paul McCartney looked at Mark Mayer and he's like, Mark, I was in the Beatles. And that said it all. You're like, of course he's not doing his best work. That dude was in the Beatles. So in relation to your conversation about, like, you can cover the Beatles. I don't necessarily think it's difficult music to play. I think it's difficult to make it better than how they did it.
Well, sure. There was just a way that they were able to do it in a finesse and ability that is just so difficult to mirror that. You know, if you go back and listen to, like, when the Beatles played on top of Apple Studios and they did, like, Get Back, which is probably, I think, the greatest, like, the last time they ever played live.
That concert's amazing.
Yeah, it gives me chills.
Like, yeah, it does. Yeah, same. You're like, you know exactly what's happening when you're watching it. You realize it's the last time you'll ever see the Beatles play, but you throw that out the window. That was an incredible concert to watch.
You know, I always think back to, you know, I have, you know how I think random all the time, but, like, I think back to watching that, and there's, like, a mailman delivering mail. Like, there's a point where, like, and I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck was that mailman thinking when he was delivering mail? And because the best part is he's, like, throwing mail in a mail slot. He looks up like, what the hell's going on? And there's, you know, Paul McCartney singing, you know, JoJo was it? And then, like, what? Yeah. The Beatles are what? Like, what is going on? Like, to think that you're part of.
Coming from?
Yeah, to think that you're part of a moment of history. Like, that's history to me. Like, that is right there, like, rock and roll 101 history.
200 people, maybe.
I don't even know if it was that many.
On the street, maybe.
Maybe, if that.
If that, yeah.
Oh man, there's so many times in, like, history of music that, like, things happen and you don't realize how important it is until, like, years or decades later, and that's really a big moment. You know, and the Beatles are a band that Pearl Jam plays, you know, pretty often. They've played Across the Universe, they've played Blackbird, Don't Let Me Down, Eleanor Rigby, Happiness is a Warm Gun, Help, I Want to Hold Your Hand, I've Got a Feeling, I've Just Seen a Face, Rain, as we just heard, Soldier of Love, You Know My Name, and You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, which is the most popular song that they've played across. But it is interesting.
It's amazing that you have the stats on the Beatles songs they've covered, because it's true that I'm guessing it's true that they've played as many covers as almost as many original songs they have. If you added up the amount of original songs they have on their studio albums, and then you add up all the covers they've done over the years, do you think there's more cover songs or more studio albums?
So there is 100%. They've covered more cover songs than they've played original music.
Yeah.
So I mean, just
okay, here's a stat. Here's a stat I want to know.
Yes.
How many of the cover songs have they only played one time?
Oh,
and I'm going to guess it's a lot.
There's a ton, because, like, you know, the one song I tried looking for, because, as I said, I'm a big David Bowie fan, so I looked up the David Bowie to see what songs he had played, and they've played Ashes to Ashes, Fame, Golden Years, Heroes, Rebel Rebel, and Ziggy Stardust. For the life of me, could not find Ziggy Stardust anywhere, and it's an earlier version of it, but you know, a lot of these songs they do play once, because, you know, like Don McLean's American Pie they've played. You know, they played I Want You So Hard by Eagles of Death Metal. They played that once, you know.
Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap by AC/DC.
Actually, they played quite a few AC/DC songs. They played Dirty Deeds Done Gone Cheap, Highway to Hell, and If You Want Blood, You've Got It.
Is that right?
Yes. If You Want Blood, You've Got It was played. I can pull that set up thanks to livefootsteps.org for all of your Pearl Jam live statistics and stats for anything you want to know when it comes to live music, live shows, statistics for songs, how many times they played a show, go to set lists and everything like that. Go to livefootsteps.org and you can find all the information right there. If You Want Blood, You've Got It was played on November 25th, 2009. And that was at the QSA Stadium in Brisbane, Australia.
That's amazing.
Look, Tony
Did they play
Bounds
the
knew
whole
that.
song?
Yeah,
You know what
Tony.
I mean, like,
Your buddy Tony knew that. He had Australia and said yes before you even played it. And then Brad brings up another great purpose. A great purpose. Jesus Christ, I'm already getting drunk. A great information
Yeah.
stat.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes they only are tags. A lot of these songs do just become tags in a song. A lot of Ramon songs are just tags in a song that they're playing in the retrospect of what that song is. Brad posted, here are some favorite covers I've seen live in no particular order. Sonic Reducer, Bobber O'Reilly, Trouble, Hawaii 78, and I Am a Patriot.
I Am a Patriot. So good.
Yeah, for everyone tuning in right now, put up your favorite. I want to know, what is your favorite cover songs that Pearl Jam has played live?
Crazy Mary. That's mine.
Really?
Oh, man, I love that song. I remember hearing that for the first time on that on the Benefit album, and then seeing it live for the first time, because they didn't play that a lot back mid-90s.
So here,
And
we have someone that just knocked another stat out of the park. Krista, who helped get Black Circle on the show, says they have done 303 unique covers.
wow, holy crap.
Hey, here, let me ask you a question, Trey.
Yeah.
Who do you think they've covered the most?
I mean, I would say the Who, but
That would be
maybe the Beatles.
That would be incorrect. That would also be incorrect. And for everyone tuning in right now, and I will give you a prize package of Touring Fan Live sticker, Touring Fan Live shirt, and a surprise guest. Tell me who you think Pearl Jam has covered the most. I will give you a hint. This artist has been covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 27 times. So if you can tell me within the next 2 minutes, because I know people are going to start looking it up, who you think Pearl Jam has covered the most, you will get a Touring Fan Live prize package. And while that's going on, but yeah, so it's interesting to me to think like they cover. And listen, I enjoy covers a lot because it's a surprise. You know they're going to play their own music, but have like a surprise cover. Like when I saw Pearl Jam at Made in America Festival, they played Know Your Rights by The Clash, which I'm a huge Clash fan. And Tony Bounds, send me your information. You are 100% correct. Neil Young is the answer.
Good answer. That was my third answer.
That was But I mean, like, you know, there's something special about like how Pearl Jam just covers music.
All right, what do you think? What was the very first song Pearl Jam covered?
Oh, it's got to be Rockin' in Free World.
That's what I was thinking. It would be
man.
Rockin' in the Free World.
Hold on, I can check real quick. We can go to shows, go to 1991, I would assume, and then or 1990.
Did they cover anything in their very first show at the?
I don't know. We're gonna check. We're gonna check Off Ramp. No, their first. All right, first song they ever covered. Oh no, I lied. Breath. No, that's all originals. Let's see. The Vogue. Nope, all originals. This is so entertaining. The New Melody Tavern.
Anticipation's killing me.
Oh Jesus, I know, isn't it? More Theater. Release. Dissident, Act of Love, State of Love and Trust, or Improv. No, that's the wrong one. Release, Breath. No, I don't. It's got to be 91. Is probably when they covered it. It's going to be. Oh man, they played a shit ton of. Brad, where we need to know. We need to know. There's no information on the set list of that show. Let's go to Town Pump. Rocking in the Free World is what I can find first, and that was. But there's a lot of shows before then. But I mean, I could totally be completely incorrect on that one. Yeah, someone's gonna have to look into that. That's for too much.
Oh, Outshined, August 23rd, 1991.
How the hell did you find that out so far?
I looked at Pearl Jam's website, and you can sort it by first play date, and it tells you if it's an original or a cover song or improv.
Oh, well, there we go.
There we go.
All right, so do you want to go to another cover song? We can maybe get into talking about this.
I do. I think hopefully, are you gonna play one that like you think about the first two you played? They're like left field.
I
Are you
like
gonna play
keeping.
something that people are expecting.
I don't think so. I kept it left field. I'm sorry. Because if it was everything that everyone heard, you've heard it already. So I wanted it to be something surprising.
But you know, like people, there's a reason they play Baba O'Reilly because it's fucking great.
Man, now you're gonna make me feel bad, like I screwed up the show. Far left, here we go.
Listen, I can't
And
wait
this,
to see it.
hey. Not only is this show my stance on something, which I'll get into another day, very much not into no bozo redheads. This next song has something to do with the shirt in general. Are we ready for this? I'm gonna take that as a yes. Here we go.
Somehow it came up at sound check, and I was like, oh man, we should do that. I'm feeling it. And Jeff said immediately, we should find a doctor to cure me of this feeling before somebody gets hurt. But there's a reason to play it, and a reason to play it here. And Jeff tells me, he's the expert, but Jeff tells me that your women's basketball team is some of the most badass women ever to walk the hardwood. And that you've won 90-something games in a row or something, and that you've won 3 championships in a row, and you've crushed everyone that's come into this building. So, we'd like to dedicate this one to them. Especially time to fuck around. Yeah, you got to take the 3-point, baby. You got to take the 3-point, baby. You got to take the 3-point, baby. Yeah, you got the 3-point. Yeah, you're talking about love. My love is round to the door. Hey, you're talking about love. Just like I told you before.
see why I'm going left field? Do you see why we're going left field? How fun was that?
I could love Van Halen.
You know, I'm going to say something that's not going to be a popular opinion. I am not a Van Halen fan. Yeah, no.
Just like in general, like Van Halen 1 through pretty much OU812.
No, like here's the thing, like,
no,
like I kind of like Right Here, Right Now. That was a good song. I saw David Lee Roth in concert. He was terrible.
He was terrible.
Yeah, he was.
You saw
terrible.
him solo win, like in the last 20 years.
He opened up for Kiss
In what year?
2 years ago.
But terrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
I am taking over all instruments.
David Lee Roth is a vaudeville sideshow of himself.
Yeah, you know, listen, I appreciate the music, and like I really do appreciate the music. And we're going to talk about what we're listening to here in a little bit, because I do have a new band that is absolutely amazing. But before we do that, it's hard. Like, there's some bands that were real popular in the '80s that just didn't translate to me. Like, I was a fan of like '80s punk, like the Ramones, the Clash, the Sex Pistols, Black Flag. That was like what I loved about the '80s. You know, even like Guns N' Roses, like I appreciate the music, but I'm not a big Guns N' Roses fan. Like, it's just hard for me to fall in love with that music. So, you know, it's tough for me. You know, Van Halen, super talented. I appreciate the music. I appreciate that song. I love the song. But like when I dig deep into their music, I just can't get into it like I can get into, like, you know, Ain't Talking About Love or Hot for Teacher. Like, those songs are great, or Right Here, Right Now. But then like the next song comes on and I'm skipping it to the next song that I know.
Yeah. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I
don't agree with you in any way, shape, or form about Van Halen. That's one of the great all-time bands.
So let me ask you a question. Trey.
First 6 albums.
When I send you the ballot for our big show in November of the top 10 greatest American bands of all time, will
Van Halen's top 10.
Van Halen will be in your top 10. Okay.
They're top 5.
Top 5. Wow.
Van Halen.
I cannot wait to see your top 10 list.
All right.
I will. I have to tell you a story offline.
You're just going U.S. bands, right?
Yeah, it's just U.S. bands, correct. So there's someone we both know very well that we discussed about 2 weeks ago about this, because he's gonna be a part of this, and he berated me for like who's in my top 10. But you know, everyone has different opinions about it.
Everyone has. Listen, you know. Hard.
You know, like I said, my number one greatest American band of all time, I'll tell you that, is the Ramones. Like, I feel like they started a wave of, they started a genre of music. They started a scene that really contributed to a lot of things that led up to Pearl Jam, in my opinion. Whether you agree with that or not, that's fine. That's cool. But yeah, no, they are amazing. So, yeah.
Is Kiss in your top 10?
Kiss is in my top 10.
Is Tom Petty in your top 10?
Tom Petty is in my top 10.
All right.
So, you have
some redeeming qualities about yourself.
Hold on a second. You know, we're just going to do this real quick. Let's get the last cover video out of the way. You mentioned the band. One of my favorite bands of all time was covered by Pearl Jam, but with one of my favorite songs of all time. So here we go with the 4th and final cover video we're going to show tonight. You ready, Trey?
I'm ready.
It's a rare occurrence, but tonight on the vocals, we have Mr. Matt Cameron taking over on this one.
Yes.
And a little bit of Mike McCready.
Out on the streets for a living, which is only begun. Got you under their thumb.
Got you under my thumb.
Was
If
that Rome 18?
That was. If that isn't the best cover song they do, I would argue with anybody.
I mean, that was really good. Tony Bounds was at that show. That was the trip that he won with his wife.
God.
That was the Pearl Jam contest to Rome. Remember that?
Oh, I do remember that. I didn't realize he won that.
Tony won that trip, took his wife to Italy for a week, and then got to see Pearl Jam, and it was like right there in the pit, man.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Well, hey, which brings us up to a new point. We're going to celebrate a 1-year anniversary next year. Can you believe we've done 12 episodes next month?
Is this our 11th episode or 12th episode?
This is our 11th. Next month is 12.
That's exciting.
It is. And I want to have that be special. So for people tuning in, I would like you to be a part of the show. I want to hear your stories. I want to talk to you about some of your experiences, but I also want you to drink the wine with us. So if you can get in touch with me and say, hey, I want to be a part of the show, but I also want to drink a glass of wine with you, get in touch with me. I'm going to get you in touch with me and Trey. We're going to try to find a way that you can purchase a bottle of wine from Trey to get it out to you, or find a bottle of wine locally to you that's equivalent to what we're drinking, so that we can hear your story next month. Next month is going to be an exciting show. I don't necessarily think we need to pick a song. And let me tell you why. I think with Pearl Jam's 10 celebrating its 30th anniversary, I think we just need to talk about 10 in general. And the importance of how that album affected our lives. I think that should be the topic. What do you think?
I mean, that's a great topic.
Okay.
It's August 2021. The album was released in 91.
Yeah.
August what?
Oh God, Lenny just told us that too. Hold on.
No, was that the date they're gonna have their show? August 14th.
That is correct, I believe.
All right. That's the date that 10 was released.
Correct.
All right. Yeah. I mean, hey, you and I only know each other because of that album. So let's be honest.
So I lied. It was released August 27th, 1991 is when the album was released. So,
ooh, hey, what day is that?
That's a Friday. Would you want to do a show on a Friday though?
God, can you imagine 30-year anniversary? Hold on, let's look at the date here. August what?
27th. What if we can pull some strings and have some big guests on that show? Can't promise anything, but let's as important as that album was.
I love the idea about that, and my calendar is open, and so if we can make that happen, if that date's open for you, and people want to tune in,
I will
we can
cancel.
make that an awesome show.
I do have tickets for the band we're about to play here in a minute, but I will cancel that for this because they're playing. Here's the thing. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but I will cancel those plans for this 100%. Yeah. All right. Let's just do it the 27th. We're cool.
All right.
27th it is.
I mean, yeah, we could. I'll work on pulling in some guest appearances on my end too.
I'll work on mine. Let's have it a guest-filled night to celebrate what that band means to people. I'll reach out to some artists and musicians to come on. We'll have if I was you and you're watching this show, I would plan on getting a bottle of wine and sitting your ass down for 2+ hours. I would assume that with me talking the way I talk and the people we're going to have on here, enjoy 2+ hours of just probably random 10 fun-filled facts.
Ooh, I love that. 10 fun-filled facts for 10.
Yeah, 10 filled. Yeah, that works for me. Maybe we should work on 10 guests. If we can get that, that'd be amazing.
I'll help you work on the guest list. We can.
We'll talk off air about that.
Yeah.
Now so we've talked about covers. I am going to tell you something. I've told you before. I have a hard time with new music. That is why me and Rob did our show, which hopefully we'll get back and running soon, where we go and try to find new musicians. And because it's tough. It really is tough for me to find new music I love. But Trey, I'm going to tell you something, buddy. Last Friday, I went to a show. It was the first time I went to a show that I hadn't listened to the band previous to me going to it. I was invited to go see a band. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go. No idea of what they're going to do. They're a band local to us that just got signed to a major record label. They're actually going to be going on tour with some major artists here soon. So I went to the show, venue maybe, 1,500 people. And within 2 minutes of this band playing, there was 10 people crowd surfing. There was crowd surfing from the first song to the last song. It was the most fun I've had at a show in a long time. And the band was called Illiterate Light. Have you ever heard of them?
I have not heard of them. Was the show more fun than Woodstock '99?
Nobody died at the show, and women weren't violated. So I would say yes.
I just watched that documentary 2 nights ago.
Did it
when,
make
when,
you?
when you said crowd surfing, I'm like, let's be honest. When's the last time you actually saw crowd surfing? I mean, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
A long time, right? So,
Dude, that documentary opened my eyes to so much. What that was, because I remember in 1999, like, because in 1999 I was 14.
Here, go ahead. How old? Say it again aloud.
I was 14 at 1999. So I was like, Limp Bizkit, Korn, all that was kind of pushed on us at that age group of like what music was. So I remember being excited for that festival, and watching it on pay-per-view. But like I even told my wife watching that documentary, I'm like, I remember even watching the second day of that pay-per-view and feeling uncomfortable of like how like the cameramen were more interested in like what was going on in the audience and the women showing themselves off instead of the musical act. And I remember it distinctly. Jamiroquai like at one point grabbing the camera and pulling it to him, being like, all right, that's enough of the women. Get back to the band. And it was just very uncomfortable. Man, that documentary, if you haven't seen that documentary, I would highly recommend watching Woodstock 99 on HBO Max. It is an eye-opening documentary for sure.
The one thing I got out of that was at the end, the two guys who were in charge of producing that whole show, you had the original guy from 1969, Michael something or other.
Yep.
But you had that other dude who a little older, right? And like completely unapologetic about the entire episode. At no point did he apologize for how anything went down.
No.
None of it was their fault, right? That was probably the most sickening part of the whole thing, right? But then you see it all, and you're like, somebody's responsible for that.
Yeah, it was bad.
Crazy.
Just to go think, Brad wants to know, is that the official day or just tentative? That's tacky on his part.
Nice, Brad. Well done.
Matt says, "Oh snap! Trey and Stereo Embers fires live stream news. Are you live streaming the event?"
So hey, you know what? Hey, let's. I don't want to waste everyone's time here, but can you help me put together a live stream for Saturday night? Because I've got Stereo Embers and Fires at my tasting room.
Yeah, let's talk off air. Let's talk off air.
How difficult is that? Is it?
You're gonna need.
Difficult to do?
If you listen to me and I can talk you through it, and you give me, I can probably talk you through it. Yeah.
All right.
Or what is that? Saturday?
It's Saturday night. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I have a professional sound team. I've got, that's all gonna be taken care of. It's a matter of literally putting a camera and a mic up and making sure that sounds and looks great.
That's in Seattle, right?
That's my soda tasting room. Yeah.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna check something real quick. From Richmond, Virginia.
So
it's going to Seattle.
So if you're watching the show, Stereo Embers for sure, because the opening credit song and Anthony has you have a show with Rob, right?
I do have a show with Rob. It's called Rob and Anthony's World Tour.
Yeah. But Fires is my buddy
amazing.
Dave Place's
God
band, and he's the bass player. But Ty Willman is the lead singer. If you guys know Green Apple Quick Step or Little Ships, Little Ships, one of my favorite albums in the past 5 years, probably. Absolutely gorgeous. And another Pearl Jam connection there, because Dave Cruzen was the drummer on the Little Ships album. And so but that's going to be an incredible show. And so if we can live stream it, that'd be amazing, Anthony. But you have to help me with that because
Yeah, I can. I'm actually looking.
I can Facebook Live it.
Yeah, no. We're gonna try to see because you have to order some parts, but I'm actually looking at flights right now to Seattle from Friday to see if I can get up there. Hold on. So it's like $690.
Hey, fly the red eye. 4 connections, you can make it. 180.
No, the cheapest one is $690.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, unless somebody wants to pay for me to go up there, that's not going to happen. Yeah, I will send you the links of what you need. Yeah, we'll talk offline. We'll get it going.
All right.
We'll get going.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's talk about this band.
Good question, Matt. And I appreciate. First of all, I appreciate your interest in seeing those guys. And I've never really even thought about live streaming any of our events. We just had. I just had Danny Newcomb and the Sugar Makers and the Copper Trees.
Damn.
Last weekend, and we had a killer burlesque show. That was awesome. I was like, I've never really thought about live streaming these events, but
hell yeah, you could. I mean, in theory, you could also sell tickets to that. You could make some little.
That's
extra.
what I mean. I'd listen. For me, and I've said this before.
Man,
all the events that I have in my space.
Yep. We
give the artist the tickets.
Yeah.
I have to pay for my sound guy. If I have a lighting guy, like the burlesque show had a lighting person, and my rentals for my chairs and stuff. But the artist gets the door, and that's the way we want it. I'm not looking to make money off my venue. I want to host cool events with really cool artists and make sure that they get what they deserve. And what I think a lot of venues don't give them. It's more of like, well, the market value for an artist is this. And you're like, okay, well, you're putting a value on what that person put into their work.
100%. Yeah.
Maybe they worked on that album for 2 years, So I'd rather give the artist the door and just, we have booze sales and that's fine. So.
Trey, let's talk offline, but I think I could set your facility up to live stream every event and work out a ticketing. I've done it locally in a ticketing system that could benefit everybody because you have such amazing musicians and events at your facility that you could have people from around the country. Because for me personally, I know I want to see Fires and Stereo Embers, and I want to see some other events that you have come through with Danny Newcomb. So it would be amazing to be able to have
Alan Johansson from Queens of the Stone Age and them Cooking Vultures next month.
Or I know that there might be an event in April. I know that we're potentially working on, so that might be. We'll talk about it. Anyway, so this band I saw on Friday, Illiterate Light, I believe is as good as White Stripes, as good as Black Keys. It is probably my new favorite band of the last 15 years. Are you ready to hear this?
I'm ready, and I'm looking at them online right now. So go ahead.
Okay, so this is Illiterate Light. This is live. So what I'm doing is they're signed to a major label. They're about to go on a major tour. They just played a small show in Charlottesville, Virginia, about an hour up the road. They're playing 3 shows in Harrisonburg before they play major venues. I have tickets to all 3. I'm canceling the last show so I can be here for Let's Talk Vinyl. So this is Illiterate Light. I want everyone's honest opinion about this. Here we go.
Last night was insane. Tonight is going to be even more insane. 1, 2, 3.
And thoughts.
That's my morning jacket with
It's-
2 people.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
That was like that's exactly what that reminded me of. That was Jim James with 2 people.
Dude. So
Great.
So
Really
the
great.
the 2 bands that open up for him, one was like a alt country band, one was like a really, I don't know what it was, Americana. I was like, so I looked at my buddy Paul. I'm like, what the fuck is this band gonna be like? He's like, I promise you, it's gonna be good. So then they only set up 2 people, and I'm like, and then it's a standing guitar, like a drummer. I'm like, what, dude? And I'm telling you, within minutes. And that venue that they're playing in, okay, that's in Harrisonburg. It's called the Golden Pony. It holds 150 people. They had for them, it's called their final send off. They're playing 3 nights at the Golden Pony in August. It's almost sold out for most of the shows. I bought tickets to all 3. I'm gonna sell my 3rd night. I'm gonna give them away. And I thought he has a sounding a little bit of Ben of Band of Horses in some songs. He's got the vocal range of Jim James. It's got White Stripes beat, a Black Eyed Peas, but he could play guitar like. He has a cover of Neil Young's Vampires. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if I know that song.
Oh,
Vampires off of like a mid 80s album or
hold on a second. You know, let me see. Hold on a second. I still have you. I don't think I've let's set it up. I thought I had it on here. Sorry. I thought I had uploaded it, but I didn't. No, they're just amazing. For 2 people to put that kind of music out and have the energy. I'm talking about 10 people crowd surfing. I mean, fucking people, kids of young from like 14 to like older people. And I have not had that much fun at a show in a long, I mean, just the energy. There's a photo online of me from that show I saw in Charlottesville, me just looking into the crowd in like amazement of like these people crowd surfing, these young kids, and this band just rocking. I was just like, shit. So yeah, I am hooked on Illiterate Light. They are absolutely amazing.
I can see that band going places. Yeah, and Band of Horses was another good reference. He had that sort of, like not falsetto, but like that little higher pitched voice, and that echoey tone in the vocals.
Sure.
That reminded me of some of the sort of faster paced Band of Horses songs.
So Shannon says sounding good. She liked them. Matt says reminded me of Modest Mouse and Royal Blood mix.
Royal Blood, so good.
John Evans says sounds good. They have a similar treble vocal range and timing of the White Stripes and similar heavy rhythm of the Black Keys. And Tony Bounds, a very simple and dynamic yes.
Tony is a simple man.
You know,
he's gonna be. You know what? Oh. Tell you what, I got a great video of Tony Bounds doing karaoke in Memphis. I'll send that to you, and we'll play that
as the intro to our next show.
It will be the intro. Tony, you'll love it, buddy. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. He slayed it. There was a karaoke bar in Memphis, Tennessee called the Windjammer.
Okay,
and I started going to Memphis about 10 years ago to sell wine, and just kind of met this crew of people in the wine business, and they become lifelong friends of mine. They're coming out. They're going to be in Walla Walla in 3 weeks.
Okay.
And so this karaoke bar in Memphis, unfortunately, it's not only been shut down, but they like leveled the building and probably put up a condo or a restaurant or something in this place. It was called the Windjammer. Imagine in the past 10 years walking into a place you could still smoke inside. Okay, a bar.
Yep.
Windjammer was this bar you would go. It's a karaoke bar you walk into, and smoking was still allowed. And I remember walking in 10 years ago, and I was shocked. But it didn't stop me from walking in because it was a karaoke bar, and I love the karaoke. And and whenever I'd go to Memphis, we'd always do a night at the Windjammer. And Tony and my buddy James, my buddy Chris Shermer, and a few other friends ended up at this joint. It was literally the last time I was at the Windjammer, and like a month later, the place was leveled and no longer. But you couldn't walk out of that place without smelling like an ashtray, right? Disgusting. But There's some great nights that they had that night, and let me tell you, Tony slayed it with his songs. I'll text it to you.
I can't wait to see it.
We'll play it.
I can't wait to say. You know, and he's been watching this show
From the
since
beginning.
day one, since the beginning.
Yeah.
And you know, with us coming up to the 1 year anniversary of the Touring Fan Live, I appreciate you, Tony, coming consistently to every episode. Also, Matt Behan's been another one, and Brad have been three people that have been there from episode 1 to episode 11. I really appreciate you all coming. But I want to take a moment just real quick and just announce it. So next month, I didn't even realize that we're going to be doing our 1 year anniversary of the show on the 30th anniversary of Pearl Jam's 10. It's going to be a very epic night. I plan on pulling as much strings as possible to have something special. So I very much look forward to that.
Well,
you know, we usually do a toast.
Well, we'll do a toast, but you drink all your wine.
Dude, I am beyond fucked up right now. Like,
Listen.
this room feels very small, and
That's what's the alcohol? I want you to look at the back of that bottle.
oh shit,
It's got to be like 14.7,
14.9.
14.9. Yeah, I mean that'll do it to you.
I'm gonna go.
How much did you share with your wife? Did you share with that with your wife?
This is all me, buddy. 100%. You know, my wife is not a big red wine drinker. She liked the other one.
The other one.
The rosé.
Is that what you've learned about wine? Is just the other one?
The rosé.
That's
Listen,
in 12 months, in
11.
11 episodes, what you've learned is that the other wine is just called the other one. Well done. Well, I've obviously done my job here, so.
Trey, I am fucking 12 sheets to the wind right now. I am gone. You know, it's funny. I had a buddy of mine called me. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
A buddy of mine called me the other day, and we were talking, and I hadn't talked to him in years, and he's like, he's a Pearl Jam fan. I had no idea. And he was like, do you, talking about the show and whatever. And he's like, do you have a Pearl Jam show? I said, well, I have a couple of them, but I think one you might get a kick out of is the Let's Talk Vinyl. So he watched it, and he's like, dude, I've never watched a show where you can literally watch someone go from sober to drunk by the end of the show, because I watched 4 episodes, and you literally are sober in the beginning and completely sloshed by the end. I'm like, I don't know about sloshed, but I am feeling it. I go upstairs and I try to my wife is like in the bed with my daughter in another room. Like, she knows, like, these episodes, she like shuts the door. She's like, I ain't dealing with your stupid ass.
What she ought to do is throw a pillow and a blanket on the couch for you on Tuesday nights.
But here, I
listen. Here's the thing. I appreciate having this show with you. I never would have thought about doing this until you even thought about approaching me and talking to me about it. It's so much fun. I get to talk about wine, which I love. I get to talk about Pearl Jam, which I love. And when you follow a band for 30 years, and that's coming up, right? I mean, let's call it. I mean, when do you think? I can't tell you the first time I saw the video or heard the song, but I can tell you for sure it was in 91, right? And not 92. And I remember seeing him for the first time in 92. But to follow a band for 30 years and still have that passion to want to go see them live and to buy their music and to support their charitable contributions that they do and all that stuff. That's kudos to that band for being able to keep of this framework of a fan base together. And that's not easy to do, right? And following the Pearl Jam social media sites, and you can see how easy it is to some of these people go off the rails about shit. But for the most part, we all love the music and we love the band, and we found lifelong friendships, and people have been married, and people have had babies and named them after the band member. I mean, it's crazy to think what this band is still doing. 30 years later, they're still together. We're going to get to see them live this year. I'm going to go to the Ohana Encore. You're going to see her now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like that's it for the year. I don't know if you've heard anything else on the front end or the back end. I haven't heard anything, but uh, you
Just
know,
rumors.
well, let's hear some rumors. What are you hearing?
The rumors that I have seen is that once again, these are just rumors. So please do not berate me and say that this is not true. The rumors are that there is going to be a live stream previous to them doing See Her Now Festival for 2 nights. That is going to be in Seattle for them to raise money for a venue that needs help.
Well, that's a showbox.
I didn't say that, you did. So
I mean, how many venue? Okay, all right. It's news to me. That's great.
the other rumor I heard was, but it seems debunked a little bit based off of Jeff's recent interview, was that they were going to do
Indoor. Jeff didn't want to do any
indoor,
large
which makes sense. And this, whatever case may be, so that they were going to do, and because they're going to do See Her Now Festival, they're going to do Ohana, they're going to do the 2 nights for Ohana and Encore, I'm sorry. And then I heard 2 more shows. One was in Vegas and one was going to be somewhere else. And they were going to be at the new football fields. But once again, those are all rumors.
I was going to say, if they were outdoors,
correct,
I could see that.
But
based on the comments, based on the comments that Jeff made.
But a football field is pretty big. That's pretty hard to fill. Anyway, but that's all I've heard. I did hear there's supposed to be an Eddie solo tour in the upcoming winter months, but that could change too with the COVID variant coming out. I mean, there's so much that could change with everything happening day to day. But I want to say this real quick. I do, I appreciate everything you said. It was the kind words. It means the world to me. I thank you so much for that, because this show is really fun to do with you, and I appreciate everyone that tunes in consistently. It really means a lot to me. I mean, I see names like Shannon Majoey that's been watching me when I did Stranger's Tribe, and even previous to that with Tap Time Live, and consistently follows me, and that means a lot to me. And see even things like Matt Behan, those are people that have been with me for the last 3 years, so I appreciate that. But Trey, you're a busy person. You have a lot going on in your life. For you to take the time to do this once a month, it does really mean the world to me. You've definitely become a friend, and somebody that I'm really excited about actually meeting, because for fuck's sake, I mean, we've been talking for over a year.
We haven't met, and we've never seen a Pearl Jam show live together. That's bullshit.
Never. I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean,
not right.
But this last year has been, trying for me as a person, just on a live stream platform per se. We do have a big announcement coming up on Thursday for Touring Fan Live. I will tell you this. If you are a fan of the Stranger's Tribe Live, I can promise you this. In the next upcoming weeks, that show is coming back. After much legal battle and bullshit, everything is coming back to normal. So keep tuned for everything coming forward. Trey, I don't want to keep you too long. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. This has got to be the longest fucking show we've ever done.
It's only 8 o'clock here. What are you talking about?
Well, for me, I mean, I have to fucking clean gutters tomorrow morning before working tomorrow evening. I mean, it's it's whatever.
That's how it goes.
But I do want to give this. Everything we're saying tonight when it comes to relation to Pearl Jam shows is only rumors. Me and Trey have no inside sight to anything. We have no official come down to nothing. We have no connection to the band whatsoever. I want to make that very clear. We are only saying the information that we read online, and that is all. The only thing I can promise you is this.
I'm just coming to you for the information. I don't know any of this stuff.
I know shit. I just read shit online and repeat it. Whether it's true or not, I have no idea. The August 20...
Like Trump voters.
Oh, gee. Oh, we're not getting political on here. John Ev... Oh, look at John. John Anthony, if you want to talk about the Delta variant at some point, let me know.
See, John, by the way, John's a doctor, right?
John's been on the show. John was on the show this past month for the Hitchhiker show we do, where we talk to a Pearl Jam fan.
Yeah.
John, anytime you want to come on.
Do you know that John stood on top of the Space Needle and raised the 12th man flag?
Wait a minute. John, you did that and didn't talk about that on our Hitchhiker show?
John,
I don't know if
come
you
on.
watched that, but John had taped his phone up to something, right? And during the interview, about 75% of the way, the damn phone kept falling, and he kept holding it. It was genius. It was absolutely genius. As a matter of fact, John, if you want to, I'm gonna say, Trey, are you busy for the next 20 minutes? Or are you good?
I'm good. Holly's dancing right now, so we're good.
John, if you want to come onto the show right now and talk about the Delta variant and how it could potentially affect live shows going forward, I will send you a link to the show right now and get you on. You just message me. You message right now, and I will send it to you ASAP.
Right.
I'm waiting for him to respond. And you don't have to have it fancy. You can just hold the phone and talk to us. Doesn't need to be set up all fancy. But you let me know. But man, John Evans is another person. Like, there's so many people that I've never met, but because of me doing live streams, it's absolutely amazing. But yeah, no, I've never even met you, Trey. I mean, absolutely insane.
But we know each other. We know.
Yeah, it was amazing. Love that you were there. You were there too, Trey? What the fuck is going on? So you've met John?
Yes. Yes. That was in the home shows. John got to raise the 12th man flag, and I got to be up there, and Charles Peterson was up there taking photos. That was crazy.
John, please tell me you're available. I need for you to come on the show. Oh, I'm laying in bed though. Oh, I'm sending John a message right now with the link. Hold on. That would be the best thing. Hold on. If you're watching this show might go a little off cue.
I want to know if he has Pearl Jam underoos.
Copy. I'm sending John the link right now. This is going to be a star-studded, event-filled a show. Let's see, John Evans. I'm sending it to you to your Instagram, John, by the way. John Evans? Chat. All right, John is going to get the link. He should be on shortly. All right, John. I'll wait for you to come on, and we'll get you on.
Look, let's hope that. Hope is too strong of a word.
Shit. I feel terrible because I have nothing else to drink.
I saved the glass for Holly. I said half the bottle. I went a glass too far.
Oh, it's go ahead.
I was going to talk about John's going to come on about this. We're in the position we are today because there are people who refuse to go get their shot.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they had no problem getting their shot when they were an infant, and their parents had no problem getting their shots. And lo and behold, that's weird. Polio's not around anymore. I mean, just think about all the diseases that could have wiped out mankind that aren't around anymore. And there are folks that's still out there that won't go get their fucking shot.
What drives me nuts is that these people, like these athletes, say, you don't know my body. Why should I take the shot? But these athletes are the same athletes that were in college and high school and middle school that had to have all their shots up to date to play on a team that was, for them to play in any league. So they had to do it. So they've been doing it for years. Vaccines aren't new. And
join the military.
Oh, I know.
You want to join the military? Do you think you can go into the military without vaccines? No. You have to have every goddamn shot in the book and 5 shots you never heard of.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
But I think
line up. I did it.
I think the crazy thing is that like people that have excuses of why they're not getting the listen, I've got the vaccine. I talked to you right after you got yours too, Trey, and you're like, hey, you said you were sore in the arm, and that's about it. Same thing happened to me, but I'm fine. I don't have any extra limbs growing. I mean, my cell phone reception got a little bit better. I mean, whatever.
Good. It's really good, right?
Myself, I got 5 fucking bars right now.
I got 5G plus like extra 5G now.
Dude, I don't know about you. I have 7G on my phone. I am rolling crazy numbers right now. Oh man. John just saw the message, so he should be on any minute.
All right.
Man,
Well, John will clarify the whole vaccine debate for. I mean, he's not going to clarify it for anybody. If you're watching this show, I'm assuming you probably also have your vaccine. So.
you have common
But
sense.
yeah, I hope so. We
I'm
hope
look.
so.
Who would have thought? Listen, we went from having no guests on the show. Up here he comes, and ready. Welcome, Miss
Hey, what's up,
Doctor
John?
John. How are you doing?
Lying in bed, that's how I'm doing.
The man sleeps in a Pearl Jam T-shirt. I knew it.
Vote for change. It's totally fitting. Hey Trey, how you doing?
It's good to see you, buddy.
So I didn't mean to interrupt, and I'll try and be brief. But the Delta variant, pardon me, is just one of many variants. All viruses mutate, and they mutate very rapidly. A lot of the mutations are not significant. Some of them are, and the Delta variant is one of those significant mutations. So far, the data is showing that the vaccines that the Pfizer, the Johnson Johnson too, the Moderna, they're all effective against the variants, and quite highly effective. So most of the people who are getting sick, you're reading about, this great number of people who are a big surge in cases, and most of them, more than 83%, I think even now it's up to like 85%, are unvaccinated. And then of the people who have been vaccinated, what people have to remember is that you have windows after each dose. That's with respect to the 2-dose vaccines. You have the Moderna and the Pfizer, both 2-dose vaccines. So after the first dose of either one of those, you're only roughly about 50% immune, and that 50% immunity takes about 2 weeks to come into play, if you will. Then, 4 weeks later, you get your second dose, and 100% immunity takes about 2 weeks after you've received the second dose. So it's very, very possible for someone to be infected within that 2-week period. Well, actually, arguably within the 6-week period after receiving the first dose. And then within the 2-week period after receiving the second dose, and because you haven't achieved 100% immunity yet. So someone would say, well, yeah, but I've been vaccinated. I've been fully vaccinated. Well, true, but your exposure could have happened most likely during that period where you're not fully immune. So, and that's what the data is showing for a lot of people. It's not to say that there aren't the outliers where someone has been fully vaccinated for quite a while and they're getting sick from the Delta variant, but it's kind of few and far between. So I think it definitely needs it needs our attention. It's important enough that we need to pay attention to it and respect it. But I don't think at this point we have to modify things too greatly. I know that the CDC recently just changed their mask protocol so that even people who are fully vaccinated and been fully vaccinated for a while, they should start wearing masks in what are called high acuity,
Like the hot spots.
yeah, hotspots, right? Which is pretty much every state has at least one or two hotspots, but then there are areas. It's mostly the South and the Southwest. Those are the hotspots. So in those areas, yeah, definitely. Or if you're going to be around immunocompromised people, if you're not in a hotspot. But generally speaking, if the more people who get vaccinated, fully vaccinated, maintain protocol until after they've achieved full immunity, the likelihood of transmitting, being infected and or transmitting to someone is very, very small. It's a lot less than, I can't remember the exact percentage. I'm just going to toss out, it's less than 1%. I want to say it's less than like 0.5%. But so again, just mostly just push people to get vaccinated, because the more people that have it, the less significant any variant comes along is going to be, and the less likelihood that the thing's going to mutate. It has to mutate typically between two hosts. That vector has to take place or has to exist. If that vector no longer exists, mutations don't really matter because they're not going to be transmitted.
John, let me ask you
John,
this.
I've heard,
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say that what I've heard was that the hospitalization rate of people who are getting COVID today, that the percentage of the unvaccinated people that are the ones who are being hospitalized is like 99.5% of the people that are hospitalized are the ones who have not been vaccinated at all.
Right.
And those are the ones who are being hospitalized with COVID today. So there are certainly people that have been vaccinated, whether one shot, two shots, 8 months ago or recently, but are not being hospitalized with COVID.
Right. And that's a great point, Trey. So one of the other benefits about being vaccinated is if you do get infected, it reduces viral shedding so that you're less likely to transmit to someone else, but it's also going to be much less effective inside you, because your immune system is going to mount a much greater response. And so, to your point, Trey, yeah, absolutely. The thing about the variants that's been coming along is that they are more infective. Typically, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're more virulent, in that they're going to produce a more significant, more severe illness. However, the Delta variant is showing just that the people who are unvaccinated, who are getting sick from it because it has it more readily, especially in your pulmonary system, the cells in your pulmonary system, it more readily penetrates those cells. So people are getting, the unvaccinated, that is, are getting much sicker than back in, let's say, January, February, March of the past year, because that variant was mainly only affecting people who the people who were being hospitalized with the original variant, if you will, had really high risk factors, and now it's people who otherwise are healthy, young people who are healthy. They could be runners, they could be marathoners, triathletes, whatever, and if they're unvaccinated, it's hitting them really, really hard. And the death rate too is skyrocketing among that subset.
It's a more efficient. It's like almost like a more efficient virus.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
John, let me ask you this. I know Trey and myself and Trey's wife and my wife are both vaccinated. We both have younger children that are not able to have vaccination. Is there something that we should be cautious about because we're vaccinated that we could potentially bring home to them? Or are we okay because we're vaccinated that we shouldn't worry too much about bringing something home to them?
No, I think you should still worry. I mean, if you're in one of the hot spots, I think you should still be precautious, because while if you were to be, let me back up. So there are two things that you need to be cautious about. One, the virus getting inside of you and then you shedding it and transmitting it to your children. So that's one. That likelihood is much less because you're fully vaccinated. Your body's going to attack and destroy much of the virus that gets inside of you.
Okay.
But you still have contact. You still have surface contact, or it could be external. You could have it just inside your nose, just inside your nair. The new testing that they're doing, they're not drilling for oil where they're like poke it through the back of your skull anymore. They're just going just inside your nose because it can live there for quite a long time. Your immune system is not really doing much, but you could sneeze, you could cough, even just a sigh, you're blowing air out of your nose. So plus you have it on your hands. You touch something, your child goes and touches that thing, and then they touch their mouth or their nose, that T zone, and boom, they've been infected. So yeah, I mean, definitely if you're especially if you're in a hot spot, but just generally speaking, I think that protocol still needs to exist. Personally, I'm not going to go against the CDC or anything like that. Personally, I think that the relaxation, for lack of a better word, was way too early. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing more problems.
Do you think that we might potentially see cancellation of shows in the fall time because of the way things are going right now? And it just as an opinion, not as an official release, but as an opinion to you.
Um, um, Intellectually, I can see it happening. My gut says no.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I think more and more people are getting vaccinated. And I think again, that protective quality um, um, is sufficient enough, significant enough that I don't think that we would have to. However, from a precautionary standpoint, I could see it happening because no one's gonna want that on their shoulders. No one's
Sure.
going to want to say, yeah, we were the people who didn't cancel. We had shows, and then you know 95 people died of COVID at our show. So
Well, California has already walked back, and I think LA County has already gone back to masking requirements
yeah,
indoors.
yeah, which
And
which
so
which I think is a great idea. I mean,
smart.
oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Trey.
That's 15 million people, in the county, north and south, right?
Right.
It's a lot of folks. And so to say that you have to go wear a mask indoors for the next 2 or 3 months after you've already been doing it for the past 12 months
Hmm.
or 15 or whatever it was, they relaxed it, but it's really not asking that much of people anywhere,
Right.
whether it's LA or wherever. And
Yeah.
so if they went back to where I live today and said, you probably should mask up again, we'll mask up again.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I hope people subscribe to that thought process. I think a lot of people are going to heave that big sigh of like, oh God, this again. For me in the hospital, it's still mandated. We never stopped. We haven't really let down in any of our protocol, um, just because we can't. But I like, when I'm out and about, if I'm in open air, we have in Michigan now, we have where you don't have to wear a mask in open air things, and I'll do that. I feel weird kind of doing it, but I'll do that if I'm in enclosed space, grocery store, or whatever. I'll still wear. But yeah, I don't know. I think that more and more people need to get vaccinated. Let's mask back up for another 3 or 4 months, and then I think we'll be in pretty good shape. But I just, when a lot of the relaxation happened a few months ago, I don't know. I think it was wishful thinking, and I think also too it was a reaction to people were just getting fed up, and it was a way to say, hey, look, let's so nobody snaps. Let's ease up just a bit. Vaccination rates are going very well. We predict them to go, better. Let's just kind of relax. Let everybody enjoy the summer a little bit. But in the back of my head, I was just cringing. I was like, it's too early.
Well, I'm of the thought that if you want to get a vaccination, you've had more than enough opportunity to get one.
Right.
And the folks who have not received the vaccination now yet, it's a choice. And if I'm wrong about that, and people can chime in on our podcast here, that they can't get the vaccination. We're in Washington State. Trust me, for the past 3 months, if you wanted it, you can get it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
And the folks who don't want to get it, don't want to get it.
Yeah. No,
And and you can't force them, and I totally get that. But
well, now actually, I don't mean to cut you off, but there actually now there are a few states that are talking about mandating it, making it mandatory. And I don't know I don't know how I feel about that.
I've heard
On the
about it
what?
being mandatory for government employees, the VA.
Hmm.
The VA made it mandatory today or yesterday that every VA employee must have their vaccine.
Yeah.
And I, I think that's, I mean, unless you truly are immunocompromised where you can't even take that,
Hmm.
then let's find a role for you somewhere with an organization that you don't have to be in front of people, around
Right.
people.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I'm a veteran and I use the VA. I have hearing aids at the VA.
Hmm.
So I go there 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
But the majority of people who go see the VA are immunocompromised, or they're older, or they have a lot of things wrong with them.
Yeah.
And so, why wouldn't you want your health care? I mean,
Right.
yeah, it's
Well,
great.
yeah,
Wait,
and I mean, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, Trey, I didn't know you were in the military.
Yeah, man, I'll serve my country.
Well, thanks for your
Man.
service, Trey.
Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure.
If there, like every time I know more and more about Trey, is there more of a like there? That's like the good friend to have on your side. Like, damn, like he's like that. He just checks all the fucking boxes.
It was all black ops stuff. I can't even talk about it.
Yeah,
We
I was gonna say, Trey's the guy that he'll get you the wine, then he's the guy that snap your neck in a heartbeat, kind of thing.
Man, listen, well, first of all, I have to say this, John. Every time you come on the show, you just make every show like so much better with your knowledge and expertise in the field. Just because you play it very straight down the road, you're giving facts. You're not put. There's a lot of people that pick political sides. You're not doing that. You're just saying, hey, listen, this is what I know. This is
Facts
the
are
facts. The facts are facts, 100%, Trey, and I appreciate that. Man,
John, have you not told him about raising the 12th man flag, man?
we just, how do we have a
Have
show
you not
about
told him
you
about
as a big ass Pearl Jam fan less than 3 weeks ago, and that wasn't part of our story?
Danny Clinch is up there taking photos of him raising the 12th man flag.
All right. Well, I'll tell the story. So the whole thing came about. Well, there's a two-part factor. One, it was a completely serendipitous thing, a total crapshoot thing, and then second of all, it really came down to the incredible generosity and wonderful person that Tim Bierman is, and we all know what a great, incredible guy he is.
Yeah.
So, we were in line in Seattle for the home shows, and if everybody remembers how hot it was, so a bunch of people, I don't know, like 10, 12 people, went in on a room. It was right around the corner from the stadium, and just to have a place to go to the bathroom, take a quick shower, whatever. Well, they had that rooftop pool, and so I was sweltering, and so I just went back. I just randomly went back, and I'm in the lobby of the hotel, ready to go up, and for whatever reason, I didn't know that you had to key in to get to the top. It was on the whatever. I'll say the 10th floor. I can't remember. So I didn't know you had to key in. So I hit the 10th floor and I went up to the 10th floor, but then the door didn't open. And I went all the way back down to the lobby again. And when the door opens, Tim's right there. And I'm like, and I hadn't seen him since basically Chicago for the release of Let's Play 2. And so I was like, Tim, he's John. Okay, so we're talking. He's like, oh, we got to get together for a beer. Okay, fantastic. So he goes and does his thing. I go for a quick swim. I go back. And he texts me a little while later, and he says, hey, well, let's get together, down the lobby for a beer. I'm going to this fundraising thing, but let's, have a quick beer. Okay, great. So we're down there and we're talking. We're just talking about, hey, well, how's the prep for the show going? Great. This, that, and the other. And I said, what kind of stuff you doing? He goes, well, tomorrow we're going to, raise the Pearl Jam flag on the top of the Space Needle. Like Mike McCready did, earlier that spring or I guess it was a year before, the spring before.
Yeah.
For the album and everything. And oh, cool, wow. And he just paused and he goes, you want to go? And I said, yeah, I want to go. And then he paused again. He goes, you want to raise the flag? And I'm like, hell yeah, I want to raise the flag. You know? And that was it. That's how it came down. It was had I not gone swimming and had I not keyed in, I probably wouldn't have run into him in the lobby, and the whole thing wouldn't have happened. And it's all due to Tim. So
And that literally the day before.
Yeah, it was the day before. It was
So
going to be. He said,
that's an awesome story because we were. I was Tim and Art. Like I was already going to be up there with him, and I knew they were going to be raising the Pearl Jam flag. And I had no idea it was going to be you. And then we went up that day, and I've always known you've always been a great fan of the band and a great friend of the band, and having Danny up there, my buddy Jeff Whitman, who you met.
Yeah, oh yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah,
awesome.
it was just an awesome day. It was a great day.
Yeah, it was an absolute thrill. And then they broadcast it live on the Pearl Jam podcast.
Yeah.
But it was an absolute thrill. And they were psyching me up, because I saw when Mike raised it, and I remember afterwards he was saying, oh yeah, it was kind of heavy and my arms were getting tired, and plus I was trying not to pinch my finger in the wheel, with that rope. And so they're telling me all this stuff, and so I'm kind of a little bit psyched out. I'm kind of freaked out, but I'm thinking, and they said, if your arms get tired, don't worry, just one of us will come. I'm like, you could dangle a Buick and an elephant off of this rope. I'm guaranteeing you, I'm getting this flag up. It's not happening. My adrenaline was just sky. So I got that thing up, and it was, actually pretty easy. But then it wasn't very windy, and so we're waiting and then finally this gust came up, and Danny turned around and took this picture as the flag billowed out. Oh God, it was a thrill, absolute thrill.
I've got some photos of that somewhere, and I'll send them to you, John.
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah, I'd love it.
Yeah, or I maybe have a video of you actually getting that up. I'll have to find that.
That'd be great.
John, you're coming. Are you doing See Her Now Festival?
I have tickets, and I hope so. My our new schedule just came out, and I have to flip some stuff around, but I'm going to try my best to be there, and I'm going to also try and go to Ohana Encore, but it's going to be kind of flying by the seat of my pants.
If you're going to make Encore, let me know. We're going to be there that Friday, Saturday for that show for sure.
Oh yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Well, that might be a picture, you, me, and John in one place.
Hey, listen, you better come to Encore. You didn't even say you were coming to that.
I'm working my wife up to it right now. Just you give me some time. But listen, John, hopefully you can make it out to See Her Now Festival. And if you decide to come out and you're there for Friday, please let me know. I'd love to have you at the Shore Stock event. We're raising money for the Project Matters. So let me know. I'll get you on the list. We can get you in on that for sure. I'd love to see you. I mean, we've talked so much. It's crazy. I've talked to so many people over the last 2 years and never met them. It's really weird to me to think that, but
that's the world of COVID, buddy.
I know. Well, listen, John, I don't want to keep you too much. I know you're in bed, and but man, I appreciate you so much and your stories. You're an amazing person, and hopefully we will be fist bumping or high fiving or hugging or whatever COVID allows us to do in the next 2 months.
Once it gets to that point where we can have, we're not focused on stranger danger anymore. I just want to be covered in bruises from bear hugs with people.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, or like slam dancing.
Yeah.
Well, John, listen, you get back to bed. We're gonna dude, the stories were amazing. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure we'll be talking to you soon because you are such an entertaining person for sure.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me come on. I just wanted to clarify some stuff, so I appreciate it.
You definitely did. All right, buddy. You have a good night.
Okay. All right. You too. See you, Anthony. See you, Trey.
All right. Bye-bye. Wow. Who would have thought?
All-time record, man. We're at 2 hours and 23 minutes. My kid has been yelling at me. She's like, I'm getting these text messages. When are you getting off the Wi-Fi?
Oh, yeah. I know for sure. My kids are probably sleeping, and I'm pretty sure it's like cold-ass dinner waiting for me upstairs.
Sure.
What an episode! What
Yeah,
an
it was a great one,
episode!
buddy.
Oh man,
You know, I gotta be honest with you. I feel like we barely even touched on the topic.
I was thinking the same thing, dude.
Let's be honest.
No,
we played we played 4 cover songs.
4 cover songs.
We had Black Circle on.
We had John on.
We didn't we had John. We really didn't even talk about what.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
how about this? Next
month,
month,
it was a successfully failed episode.
Listen, we're at 11 months in, so at 23 months, we'll do another cover episode.
All right, we'll legit get into them because I listened to all of my favorite covers today, and you played 4 of them. You played 4 covers, and they were all very good, but none of them were my favorite covers. And so I feel like I need to be more proactive and communicate with you. Like, hey man,
yeah, let's
O'Reilly from Denver.
we'll do another from Denver, 2013. 14. Oh, I always get them mixed up. All right, we'll do another cover episode to bring this all together. I was not expecting 2 guests tonight. I'm very grateful for the 2 guests with Black Circle and John coming on this evening. I'm always super grateful for Trey Bush for coming on and having me be a part of his bubble. For that, I am super grateful. For everyone that tuned in tonight, I'm so grateful for that. Listen, for more information about our shows, we have another show tomorrow. Damian Fulton's coming on. He's one of the artists that are doing a ukulele for the Project Matters. So we have 12 ukuleles custom painted by some of the top artists in the game. I've seen one of them already, and I'm mind blown by what he did. But there's 12 artists, 12 custom ukuleles. Damian Fulton's one of them. He'll be on the show tomorrow for an evening with. We have some more episodes coming up over the next few weeks. Stay tuned. Go to Touring Fan Live, thetouringfanlive.com for more information. Check out our social media page, our Instagram, and our Twitter for more information about that. We are going to be doing our episode of Let's Talk Vinyl next month for the 30th anniversary of 10. The fact that I'm remembering all this and I'm drunk as shit.
I know. I can't believe it. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm fucking. Dude, it is hurting my fucking head right now to remember all this shit. But listen, once again,
that's the Grenache. That's the Grenache.
Is that the Grenache? Because this, dude, I've drinking a lot of bottles of wine with you, 11 of them to be specific. I've never felt this way before, so this is super fucked up. But thank you to Black Circle, thank you to John Evans, and especially thank you to Trey Bush, who deals with my bullshit every month, at least once a month. And for all those beautiful wedding photos that you've posted, that just makes all of us look so irrelevant because you and your wife are just beautiful.
My wife makes us all look irrelevant. So,
and for Matt Bahan, that says,
hey, by the way, up that Twitter game.
Yeah, I know.
First of all, I had no Twitter game because I got off that format a long time ago. But listen, Anthony, you saw who played my wedding, right?
Yes, I do.
Richard.
I know. Yeah. Let's get him on the show.
Let's get him on the show.
Let's get him on the show. I love Richard.
Right.
We text often.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
All right. Well, listen, if you're tuning in for the first time and you missed some of the show, you can listen to the whole show right after the show is done on our Facebook page. It'll be on our YouTube channel tomorrow. Just search the Touring Fan Live. And for you podcast listening people, you can listen to the whole show on our podcast. We are so fucking close to 1 million listens for just this show. Let's Talk Vinyl. Let's knock that shit out for a 1-year anniversary. Just search the Touring Fan Live on all of your favorite podcast platforms, and just remember to subscribe and like, because that helps us so we can continue to get actual sponsorships and not for us to make up fake ones and get emails.
But the paychecks we're getting, Anthony. I mean, the paychecks.
Here, I'm going to give you a true fact because I'm allowed to say this now. I have spent in 1 year's time, which will be this Thursday, in 1 year's time, I have spent $9,462.11 to keep this show consistently up and running. And guess how much money I've made on this show? $0. And I am not mad about that at all because I love doing this show. I love talking to Trey. I love having the fan interaction. It is not about the money for me. It is about making people have a good time. And for that, I am grateful.
I'm grateful as well, buddy.
Well, listen, thank you so much. I'm going to end this show on a positive note and saying thank you so much for tuning in to Let's Talk Vinyl. I'm Anthony. That's Trey. Until next time, continue listening to music.